Hello everybody, my name is Spaceman and welcome back to New Comic Book Day. I don't remember specifically which one this is that we have to unbox right now, but what I do know is that it says fragile on the box, and that means we gotta open it with care. So let's take a look what's inside this big box. Is it another graded comic? I think it is. Let's take a peek. I don't remember which specific comic book this is, so this is gonna be exciting for both you and me, because again, this could be anything. There's a couple coming in the mail. One big one coming all the way from Great Britain. I am super excited for, like I talked about in a previous video. I don't think it's this one. I don't think it's that one, but I wonder which it could be. Ooh, it's a good one. I remember now. It's a very good one. I'm going to try to make a great, huge video on this specific comic book later down the line. This is by far one of my absolute favorite comic books ever. Like top 5, easy. Top 5, absolute, without question. Let's break it down. What do we get in the mail? It's a 9.8 Marvel Presents Wolverine Weapon X. This is one of the greatest comic books, in my opinion, that has ever been released, period. Top 5, one of the greatest stories. And I'm hoping to do, and I've been working on the script a little bit on the side between YouTube and casting and normal life. I'm working on a little script. I'm hoping to do a analysis video and kind of, not a breakdown, but just kind of giving my thoughts on the absolute masterpiece that is the Wolverine X story. This comic book, and I'll talk to you in a minute why I picked up this specific one. Weapon X, when I first read it, which was, I first read it honestly like maybe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and I picked it up, got it pretty cheap on eBay. I got the graphic novel cover, so I got all of, the normal magazine issues into one book, picked it up, read it in like a 2-day span. I was floored. And I've always liked Wolverine. I've always really liked Wolverine, but I never could get invested in the character and never could really get hooked on that nice little aspect of why Wolverine is so popular and why he is so important. It wasn't until I read Barry Windsor Smith's story of Weapon X that I absolutely understood why Wolverine is the character he is, why he's the man he is, why he's so interesting, and why that specific storyline for Logan. And really, that was the first Weapon X story ever. That is when they established how he got his adamantium, kind of how Logan came to be. That is when I understood why Wolverine was an interesting character. Don't mince my words. Weapon X, in my opinion, is one of the greatest comic books ever written, by far. And I picked up this specific cover in a 9.8 because of the two covers that I really am drawn to, with the solo issues, one being the normal Weapon X cover. I believe it's the 6th issue, where he has the helmet on and he's got the red background and the claws. I'll put a picture of it on screen. This is the second one because I felt that I actually haven't seen many of these specific covers on the web. This is number 78 from the run. I believe it's 72, 74 through like 83. I haven't seen many of this specific cover, and what I felt this cover did was it completely encapsulated the pain and awe and mystery and wonder and atmosphere of the Weapon X story, as well as the main character, Logan. And, at the time, before I had read it, I didn't really get involved, like I talked about, with the character itself. I knew Wolverine was a badass superhero, but I couldn't connect with the character. This cover to me completely changes the way that I look at Wolverine, and more importantly, the way that I look at Logan because of that story. And there's a great little prologue in the beginning of the actual graphic novel where it kind of talks about you have to read this story in one sitting down, and you need to read it as if it's almost a fever dream. You're like the fly on the wall of one of the most depressing and mind-numbing stories, and you need to take every page with a full appreciation of the art and the writing and take it one page at a time. And it sounds stupid, but when you do it, you completely get why this story is so profound and how it changed the game of not only comic book writing but story presentation in comic books, and how it changed the way that Wolverine is viewed in comic book lore. Seeing Logan in this form and seeing him in this like raw, exposed and unwilling to fight back nature this is something that really resonated with me, and kind of just seeing a man who's going through the system of learning his identity was huge. And I haven't seen many in this condition. I haven't seen many that had this cover art, number 78 on eBay, really. So when I saw it for a good price, I negotiated and I was able to pick it up. I think this might be my favorite cover of the Weapon X solo issues that they have. But sorry for rambling for a while, but this is one of my favorite comic books of all time. Weapon X, when I first read it and when I closed the last page, I literally out loud, I was just like, holy fuck. That was unreal. This is by far one of the crown jewels of my collection. And even though it's not a super expensive comic, I love everything about this. I love the fact that I got a dead middle run. I believe at number 78 is when they start really getting Logan to wake up, and he starts, you know, starting to consciously sort of think about his actions and trying to fight back against kind of the feverish nature of his encapsment. And I love everything about this comic book. I love that I was able to pick it up at a 9.8. It looks great. White pages, perfect, beautiful. Barry Windsor Smith, highly recommend. If you have not read Weapon X, if you've been waiting to read it, or there's a specific comic you don't know if you should read, you don't even have to be a Wolverine fan. I went in not being like on the natural like Wolverine boat ride. At the time I was reading New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis. I just finished Doomsday Clock. I went in just expecting a decent Wolverine story, and I was changed forever. I was absolutely changed. Weapon X is one of those stories that will blow your mind. So go check it out. Read it if you haven't already. I promise you it will not disappoint. And let's give this thing a spin on the turntable. Let's take a look at Weapon X in full view, because this thing is an absolute godsend. Thank you guys for watching. Let's check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel as always. Make sure to subscribe if you like the gaming content and reaction content. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bam!